Hi, in this video we're going to look at the topic of ratio and proportion, which is both a higher and foundation GCSE topic. For more information, as ever, you can contact me on Twitter at Mr_G_Walton or follow our maths account at school, which is at Tupton Maths. In this video we're going to look at the following objectives. We're going to look at simplifying ratios, so just cancelling them down. We're going to use proportional reasoning and something called the unitary method to scale up and scale down. Don't worry about what it's called, we're just going to get through the process of doing it. And we're going to divide an amount into a given ratio. These are all standard ratio and proportion style questions. Let's have a look at this first example. It says, during 1 hour a garage sold 2,750 litres of petrol and 1,750 litres of diesel. Work out the ratio of petrol to diesel and give your answer in its simplest form. Okay, so we're going to start off just by writing both of these things out. So we've got petrol and we've got diesel. And what we need to try and do is cancel these things down. So we've got 2750 petrol and 1750 diesel. Now we're going to have to see if we can find some numbers that go into both of these. Now, straight away, they both end in 0, so we could divide both sides by 10. So I'm just going to divide by 10 and divide by 10. Notice the way that I'm setting this out, I can clearly see what it is that I'm doing. You don't obviously have to change colour, but I'm going to just to make it clearer. And 175 on this side. Okay, I'm pretty sure that 25 is going to go into these. So we'll divide by 25 and we'll divide by 25. So in terms of 275, 10 lots of 25 would have been 250. So 11 lots would be 275. And how many 25s go into 175? Well, let's see. So 4 would have been 100, 5, 125, 6, 150, 7. So 11 to 7. Now, I've recognised that both of these are prime numbers, so we can stop at this point. The ratio of petrol to diesel is 11 to 7. Done. Look at the next example then. In this example it says one day both Peter and Jane bought petrol at the same garage. Peter paid £24.05 for 26 litres and Jane bought 32 litres. Work out the cost of her 32 litres of petrol. Right, now they both bought petrol, so we've got some information and I'm hoping we've got enough information here. So let's see, we've got £24.05 and that was for 26 litres. Now we want to know 32 litres, so there's no easy way. If it was like 52 litres, we could just double this value on the left hand side, because 52 is 26 doubled, so I could just double this. Now I can't easily think of a way to get to 32 from 26, so what I'm going to do is we're going to divide this by 26, because that will tell us what 1 is. Now if we're dividing that side by 26, we've got to divide this side by 26 as well. And I'm going to use my calculator to do that. So £24.05 divided by 26, it's going to tell me that 1 litre is going to be 0.925 pounds, or 92.5 pence. Now if we want 32, I'm hoping what we can see is that I can now scale up. I can multiply both sides by 32, and that's going to give me an answer of £29.60. Now this method is called the unitary method. All it means is that you're trying to find 1 unit. In this particular example, 1 litre. It's a really powerful skill to have, so if you can set it out like this using the arrows, that'd be brilliant. Finding one thing, and then from the one thing you can scale up to what it is that you're looking for. Okay, let's have a look at another example. This time it's talking about strawberries. It says Tamazin and Charles go strawberry picking. Tamazin pays £8.40 for 2 kilograms of strawberries. Charles picks 4.5 kilograms of strawberries. How much does Charles pay? Now I'm going to use the same kind of thing here. we're going to say that £8.40 was the same as 2 kilograms. Now what we want to know is ideally 4.5 kilograms. So we want 4.5 kilograms, but I can't easily get from 2 to 4.5. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this intermediary step of finding 1 kilogram first. And to do that, we're going to divide both sides here by 2. Now I can do this one in my head. We've got £4.20 here for 1 kilogram. Now to get from 1 kilogram to 4.5 kilograms, we need to times by 4.5. So that means we're going to have to times this by 4.5, which I'll use my calculator for in this case. But if it was on a non-calculator paper, that's not a particularly difficult sum. We've got £18.90. Okay, so how much does Charles pay? He pays £18.90. Next one says, a recipe for strawberry jam uses strawberries and sugar in the ratio of 3 to 2. Notice that the thing that's first, in this case strawberries, is the number that's first in the ratio. So strawberries, 3 parts, sugar, 2 parts. It says, Charles uses the 4.5 kilograms of strawberries to make jam. Does it say that? Or does it say 44? Let me just check. It actually says 44. So we're going to have to be careful here. 44 kilograms. Okay. So 44 kilograms of strawberries. How much sugar? Well, let's set it out. So we've got strawberries and sugar. 3 to 2. Well, we haven't got 3, we've got 44.5. Would be useful if we knew what we could times 3 by to get to 44.5, because then we could do the same here. Now I don't know what I can multiply 3 by to get to 44.5, so we could do it the opposite way, and we could say, well, let's do 44.5 divided by 3, which is giving me 14.83 recurring. Okay, well, if that's the case, then what we're going to have to do is multiply this side by that number, 14.83 recurring. Okay, so times by 2, it's going to give me 29.666, which I'm just going to round to 7. 26.7 kilograms of sugar. Okay, so this time we've used this same idea of scaling up and scaling down. If I multiplied 3 by 14.83 recurring, I will get to this value here of 44.5. I didn't know what that was going to be, so I used my calculator to do the reverse process. I divided, then I've used the same thing, multiplied it up here to give me 26.7 kilograms. Okay. Here is a question about a sports club for you to have a go at. So at this point, if you pause the video, have a go, and then I will show you what to do when you come back. Okay, so in this case, we've got 56 women and 64 men. We want to get that in its simplest terms. So we're going from 56 to 64. We're going to see if we can find a number that goes into both of them. Well, I know for a fact that 8 goes into both of these. 8 7s are 56, and 8 8s are 64. 8 to 7 works well. The ratio of adults to children in the sports club is 5 to 2. There are 120 adults in the club. How many children are there? Okay, so again, let's set this out. We've got 5 to 2, with it being the adults to children. We've actually got 120 adults. How many children? So what I'm going to do is think, what can I times 5 by to get to 120? So 5 times something is 120. That's a difficult sum to do. So why don't we divide it by 5 and see? So 120 divided by 5 is going to give me 24. I would need to times by 24 here, which means I'm going to have to times by 24 on this side, which gives me 48. So how many children are there? There are 48 children. If you got both of those answers right, well done. If you didn't set it out in the same way that I did, it might be worthwhile doing, unless your way is neater and in fact better than mine. If that's the case, get in touch and show me. I particularly like setting it out in this way so that you can see what's going on. Okay, so we're using this idea of growing or increasing by the same amount, keeping things in proportion. This is what is key. Okay, if you did well on the first question, here's another one for you to have a go at. Again, pause the video, see what happens on this time, and I'll come back and show you in a second. Okay, so Rashid, Kerrion and Anthony each buy heating oil at the same price per litre. Rashid bought 650 litres of oil for 143. Kerrion bought 800 litres. How much did she pay? So we're going to use the unitary method here. So we've got 650, and that was for £143. I would like to know what 1 litre is. So divide both sides by 650. So divide 650, and the same on this side. Divide 650. I'm going to get 1 here. And then 143 divided by 650 is going to give me 0.22, so 22 pence per litre. Now we've got 800, so we're going to have to multiply this side by 800, and that will tell us how much you paid, which I've got as £176, so 176. Now, the second part to this says Anthony paid £253. How much oil did he buy? Well, let's see. Well, we've got 253 on this side, and let's see how we might go about working this out then. So £1 was 22. Sorry, 1 litre. I've confused myself here by writing it on the wrong side. What I should have done was put a little title at the top. These are litres and these are pounds. Okay, so it's important we set these things out neatly. So we've actually got 253 here, and we want to know what we can get in terms of numbers of litres. Well, we know it's 22 pence per litre, so how many 22p's go into 253? And that'll tell us, so 253 divided by 0.22, 253 divided by 0.22 is going to give me 1150 litres. Okay, so again, we use this, setting it out nice and clearly, using litres on one side and pounds on the other to scale up and scale down to find the answers to these questions. And say these could appear on both a higher and foundation paper, so it's well worth you being able to do this sort of proportion and ratio questions, and certainly there seems to be an increase in the number of questions that are about ratio and proportion in the current exams. As ever, if you've been taking notes at the ends of the videos, then this is a good place to do it now. Ratio and proportion. Think about scaling up and scaling down. Try and find one part first. This is going to be important. If you're cancelling ratios down to the lowest form, use common factors, like cancelling down a fraction. It's exactly the same process. And set your work out neatly. So if you were doing litres and pounds like we were last time, set it out so we can see, and use the little arrows to show what it is that you're doing each time. And whatever you do to one side, do the same to the other. So for example, if here we were timesing by 6, we'd times by 6 on this side. If we were dividing by 3, we divide by 3 on this side. Keep it nice and neat and tidy, and you'll not go wrong. Okay, well done for working your way through this. Good luck with your exams as ever, and if you need anything, contact me on Twitter. Thanks, bye.